Ready? Let's talk about this. We have to turn this into a percentage, and there's a clue. You see that 4? That's quarters. That's 3/4. 3/4 is 75 cents. That's 75% of a dollar. Now the way you do it otherwise is you'd have to divide 3 by 4, and you do get 75, and then you have to multiply that by 100 to turn it into, a percentage.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I got that, but I just couldn't be sure.
Oh yeah, so let's see if we can generalize how we do that, right? So if we have a fraction, a over b, and we need to turn that into a percentage, like c is going to be the number, right? So what you do, you can use a calculator for it, but you're going to do a divided by b, and you're going to get some number, right? So then you take that number, and you have to multiply it by 100, and that will give you your percentage. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So if we have a fraction, we need it to be a percentage. Just divide the numerator in by the denominator. Take your answer, multiply by 100. That's it. Okay, which next one? 47. 47? Oh, 8 2/5. Ooh, that's nasty.
That's the one we had the question on.
Is that what you guys were struggling with too?
Well, we think we got it. We got an answer, but we want to know why it's so high.
Well, I'm really glad you asked that because it actually has to do with this. That's 800.
Oh.
So 8 2/5 is actually the same as 8 plus 2/5.
Yeah.
Well, kinda. Is that true? 42. Yeah, that is true. That's true. 8 2/5 is the same as 8 plus 2/5. So if you have 8, that's 800%. But man, I guess this is probably how I would do it. I would take this number right here, 8 2/5, and I would change it into an improper fraction. So to change that into improper, you multiply, and then you add. So that's 40 plus 2. 42 over 5. Okay, so let's use our shortcut we did last time. 5 divided by, or 42 divided by 5. So 8, right? And then we have to take that number, and we have to multiply that number right here times 100. So 840%.
Oh, I got it right away.
Yeah.
Yep. So you're right.
Yeah.
I didn't do it that way, but I got the.
There's more than one way. Yeah.
For real.
You want to know how I do it?
A ver.
Well, let's let those guys finish. They're like having a nerd fight over this problem, which is good. That's good. I don't know, but no, you guys are okay. You're good. You're doing good. Yeah. So you want to see how I would do it? Okay, here's how I would do it. We have 8 2/5, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't write this out, but this is what I see. Now, the thing about decimals and percentages are really play nice together, right? All you do is multiply by 100, which just moves the decimal place 2 to the right. Like that's the shortcut. So when I look at this, here's what I notice. This 2 over 5 is the same as 4 over 10. That might not make sense, but 4 over 10 is the same as 4/10. Like, you say this 4/10, and that's what it means. 4/10 is the same as 2/5. So this is 40%. And that's 800%. So it's 840%. Yeah. That's like nerdrific way.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet.
Not there yet? You'll get there. Don't worry. You'll get there.
I don't, yeah. Really?
Which way, Jackie? Yeah, but that would be tricky if it was if it was 8 2/7. Then it wouldn't work.
But like that, well, almost goes by.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Well, you could, but this you'd have to do like
I
that.
got straight.
Oh, the other way. 2 divided by 7. Sorry. Okay. Well, you guys act like you had pizza and donuts. All kinds of energy. Jacobo, which one do you want to talk about next?
Number 88.
88?
88. El 88 hasta el 90.
88.
Is that that one?
Neta que sí.
Neta que sí. Okay.
97.
We'll do 97 after 88.
Okay.
I got all blurry. I don't know why. Ay, ay, ay. That's right. So let's do 88 and then we'll do 97. 88 says 150% of 260 is what? So 150% of, okay, I'll fix it. 260 is, okay. All right. A couple things about this. So M&M, there's a couple things about this. We're taking a percentage of a number and of almost, it's like one of the few words that always means the same thing in math. It just means multiply. So when I look at this, 150% is more than 100%. So my answer is going to be more than 260. In fact, it's going to be 1.5 times. Because if I change 150% into a decimal, I get 1.5. In fact, that's kind of what you do. You have to change this.
And to get that, you just divide it by 100.
That's right. You have to change that into a decimal, and the way you do that is you divide by 100. So this is really just 1.5. Oh, that word, punto, has a very important letter.
Yeah.
Because it means something totally different if you don't have that. Right.
And then you just times it by 260, right?
Right. So it's 1.5 times 260. Now, I would do this actually in my head first. Because, like, this is 1.5. So it's going to be 260 plus half of 260 is 130. That's 390.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you...
130.
Well, because it's 1.5. This is 100% plus 50. And that's what 150% would be. Do you see? 88. Sometimes the calculator is like you have a calculator in your hand and you stop thinking as much. Whereas this, especially like 150, I bet you could work your way through that. All right. We're going to do 97. Right? Jacobo? 97? Okay. 97. 6.5. Ooh. Oh, this one's tricky. Oh, it's blurry again.
Yes.
Put your glasses back on.
I got them in my car. For real.
Really? Ay, ay, ay.
That's when you do the whole two.
It's automatic. It works really great, can't you tell? Oh my gosh. Eminem, what did you do to this thing? Oh, there we go. Now, all right, so listen very carefully because this is the kind that might mess you up on your quiz. And I want to make sure everybody understands that when we take our quiz, all of the problems are going to come from the book. Okay? So the book is a good study resource. And, yeah. Okay. For this kind, you have to set up an equation. But you can just do it like literally translation. Like this is right here. This is a number that we don't know. Right? Like that's what we got to figure out. We got to figure out what number is this. And so we're going to just use x to be that number. X. X. So M&M, stay with us here. Stay with us here. So check this out. We have to turn that into a decimal.
Yeah.
So that's 0.065. Because 6.5% would be 6.5%, right? And you have to divide that by 100, and the shortcut is you move the decimal 2 places, you make a butt.
Make a bite?
Yeah. Well, right, you do. To change a percentage into a decimal, you make a butt. And it goes to the left. So you start wherever the decimal is, and you just move it 1, 2 places left. Yeah. Well, it does. It makes a butt. Okay. Now, of means multiply, so I'm going to use a dot because we're using x for this, is equals. You have to solve that.
Yeah, that's how you were doing it.
All you got to do is solve that. So to solve that, you just use inverse operations. The opposite of multiply is to divide. Oh, that marker's not working so good. Now for this one, I would need a calculator, I think. But if you have a calculator there, could you do me the favor and divide 39 by that? Oh, I have one right here.
Dang.
So 39. Oh,
You're doing speed.
Yeah.
what the heck? This is a stupid calculator.
So first,
There we go. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. So we got 39 divided by .075. 600. Let's see if that makes sense. Because if this was a quiz and I wanted to make sure I got a good grade, if I had time, I would multiply. I would check this out. I would multiply. I would see if this. So here's the thing I would try to figure out: is 6.5% of 600 really 39? That's what I would do. That's what I would do to check. That would be my check. Does that make sense? Do you see what I mean? Yeah. And so I would just multiply like 0.065 times 600 and see if I got 39. And if I did, then I know I was right. So this is my answer, though. And what number was that? 97? Ah. Yep. Are we good with that, Jackie, or not good? Yeah? Who's got a question for me? None?
So we practically have to read the question out loud.
Yeah. Reading is super. It's funny, right? If you read it, it's like really obvious what to do. Yeah, but that's the thing. You got to read it. Hashtag reading rainbow. Yeah, because Alex said like you have to read it literally, and yeah, if you read it, then it's pretty obvious what to do. But if you just look at numbers and you start trying to like divide, you're gonna mess it up.
That's probably it.
Okay, we got time for one more.
289.
89? 89? 89. 89. 89.
Yeah, 89.
That one. 89.
No,
It's number 89.
3.2?
It's K89.
89, right.
What was the answer for the last?
600. So 3.2 is what percentage of 50? Ooh, this is nasty. Unless you write an equation. If you write the equation, it's really, really easy. All you got to do is where it says what, you put x. This is percent though, right?
Yeah.
Right, so it's 3.2 equals what percent of 50?
So then you just do 3.2 times 50.
Well, the thing is also with this one is percent is divided by 100, right? So I'm going to change. Do you guys see like percent means divided by 100? So I'm going to divide that by 100 and get rid of the percent. So that's the thing I have to solve. Dang. You know what I would do?
What would you do?
I would reduce.
Reduce?
Yep. 50 and 100 right there, look.
Half.
Half. 6.4. Huh. 6.4 I think is the answer. Let's find out. I think it's 6.4, just like looking at this, because watch. I'll do it the way that you probably would do it if you didn't see the reducing.
Okay.
But if you do the reducing, you can do it in your head. Because look, if you reduced it, you would get 3.2 equals 1/2 x. And so 6.4, half of 6.4 is 3.2. So you can do that in your head if you reduce. But let's do it the other way. Let's divide both sides by 50. Oh, I don't. Let's see. Let me get my where's my handy dandy calculator? Handy dandy calculator. Yeah? Times 100? Right? 6.4, you make a butt the other way. 6.4, and that's the answer. What's that? That's right. Oh, thank you. Only in math class is that appropriate, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't but like, I get how to do
That
it.
is the same thing.
What's your question, Eminem?
No, I was just telling you because we were kind of, I mean, we got the answer and we were doing it kind of a different way. But
Yeah.
We still got the same answer.
There's lots of ways to do
Didn't
it.
divide, like, you did it to the x over 100.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that's, yeah. What did you say?
Yeah.
I think he just made it long.
No, I mean, what I did was we dropped out everything, we wrote the equation,
Yeah?
and then we just,
Oh, but you left it percent.
yeah.
So you got 0.064 was x percent, which is 6.4%. Same thing, yeah. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen.